It all started with an insult. Imagine being trapped, suffocating in a hot car, while the person you love is inside a wedding, insulting your existence and calling you pathetic. That's exactly where I found myself, utterly humiliated at his sister's wedding. All because, in his cruel words, my face and dress were disgusting. I've been dating Raul for 8 months, and I genuinely thought we were on a good path. Not perfect, not soulmate level, but definitely into this could be something real territory. But that day, at his sister Monica's wedding, the disaster that was apparently always lurking in our relationship just exploded. Let me rewind a bit, because how we met is key to just how much this betrayal stung. We had this super random, almost fate-like meeting. I was at an art exhibition, a packed night viewing party. Raul's company was sponsoring, premiering some fancy new projection tech. Then a massive thunderstorm hit, and the power went out. Total darkness, just phone flashlights bobbing around. I was trying to navigate to the exit when someone slammed right into me. That someone was Raul. He was profusely apologetic and helped me find a bathroom, where I desperately needed to fix a contact lens that had gotten knocked loose. We ended up talking for hours in the exhibition cafe once the power came back on. I remember him telling me that seeing my face illuminated by the emergency lights was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. I mean, who says that? My brain gremlins were instantly smitten. Fast forward to yesterday, Monica's wedding. This was the first time I was supposed to meet his family, which in retrospect was red flag number 1 in our relationship. He always had excuses. They're busy, they live across town, his sister is planning her wedding, blah, blah, blah. But finally, this was it. I was going to meet them. I spent weeks searching for the perfect dress. Nothing too fancy to upstage the bride, obviously, but nice enough to make a good first impression. I settled on this dusty, rose midi dress with delicate silver flowers embroidered on it. It felt right, given our meet cute. I did my makeup carefully, put on the silver necklace Raul gave me for our 6-month anniversary, and then there was the wedding gift. Oh, that gift. Monica and her fiancé Stanley are huge anime fans and had always talked about wanting to honeymoon in Japan. I literally saved for 2 months to contribute to their trip fund. 2 months of ramen for lunch, extra freelance projects, skipping my usual coffee shop writing sessions. I'm not rich. Some months, I barely make rent. This gift was a sacrifice because I wanted his family to like me. Stellar judgment on my part, clearly. I put together $1,500 in Japanese yen, plus a certificate for an authentic tea ceremony experience in Kyoto, all nestled in a beautiful wooden box hand-painted with cherry blossoms. Raul had actually mentioned it was too much, but I dismissed it. I wanted them to like me. So, wedding day arrives. Raul picks me up, and he seems tense, but I just chalked it up to wedding day stress. As we drove to the venue, a gorgeous garden place about an hour outside the city, he started making these weird comments about my dress. Is that really what you're wearing? Don't you think it's a bit much? My family is kind of traditional. I started getting nervous, but I'd spent weeks on this outfit, and honestly, I looked good. The ceremony was at 3 p.m., and we got there around 2:30. Raul pulled into this back lot, hidden behind some trees. And then he dropped the bomb. I need you to wait in the car. I laughed. Surely he was joking. He wasn't. His face got tight, and he said his family was particular, and he needed to prepare them before introducing me. Confused, I started asking questions. They knew I existed, right? We've been dating for 8 months. That's when he exploded, saying, and I quote, "My family doesn't need to see your pathetic face and disgusting dress. Just wait here." I was literally in shock. Before I could even process what was happening, he grabbed my purse, took my phone out of it, and got out of the car. I tried to open my door, but he locked it from the outside with his key fob. I was trapped. Through the windshield, I watched him walk away with my phone in his hand and the gift I'd spent 2 months saving for. I sat there in complete disbelief. Did my boyfriend just lock me in a car and steal my phone? Was this actually happening? The car got hot, then hotter. It was June. I tried the doors again. Nothing. I tried honking the horn, but we were parked so far away from the venue that no one heard. Or if they did, no one came. 2 hours. 2 agonizing hours. I sat in that car. The ceremony came and went. I cried my makeup off. I contemplated breaking a window, but that car was literally the only thing of value Raul owned. And my brain kept screaming, don't overreact. There must be an explanation. Looking back, I should have shattered that window into pieces. By the way, if you're still with me, make sure to hit subscribe. More unbelievable stories are coming. Finally, he came back. He acted like nothing had happened, just unlocked the car, opened my door, and said, "They're ready to meet you now." I was speechless. My makeup was ruined. I was sweaty. My hair was a mess. And I was pretty sure my disgusting dress was wrinkled beyond repair. But I was also in such a state of shock that I just got out of the car. I asked for my phone back. He said he'd give it to me later. At this point, I was trying to convince myself there must be some massive misunderstanding. Maybe his family really was super traditional, and he panicked. Maybe he was ashamed of something I didn't know about. I was literally creating 1,000 excuses for him in my head as I followed him to the reception. We walked into this beautiful tent strung with twinkling lights. Monica looked gorgeous in her wedding dress. Raul led me toward her and Stanley, and I plastered on my best smile despite feeling like actual human garbage. And then, the ultimate betrayal. "Hey sis, this is Nadia. She's just a friend from work. Just a friend. 8 months. That romantic meet cute. The silver necklace I was wearing. 31 sleepovers at my apartment. Christmas with my parents. All of it reduced to just a friend." And then he winked. He winked at the bridesmaid standing next to Monica, who giggled and winked back. I stood there feeling like I was in some alternate reality where nothing made sense. Monica looked confused, but it was literally her wedding day, so she just smiled and said, "Nice to meet you," before turning to other guests. The friend from work comment repeated all night as Raul introduced me to relatives, cousins, uncles, always with that same weird, dismissive tone, always while looking around the room as if searching for someone more interesting. I smiled. I was polite. I said all the right things because what else was I supposed to do? Cause a scene at someone's wedding? Scream. He locked me in a car for 2 hours in front of the cake table. I'm writing this the morning after. I finally got my phone back, and Raul dropped me in my apartment last night, acting like the evening went great. He actually tried to kiss me goodnight. I turned my face away, and he didn't even seem to notice anything was wrong. The wedding gift, the one I saved for 2 months to buy, is apparently sitting with all the other gifts at Monica and Stanley's house. Raul didn't even tell them it was for me. I haven't slept. My mind keeps replaying everything, searching for signs I missed. Was our entire relationship fake? Was I just convenient until something better came along? I didn't know what to do. It's been 4 days since the wedding disaster, and things have developed. I spent the whole day ignoring Raul's texts. He sent his usual, "Good morning, beautiful," as if he hadn't locked me in a car and then pretended I was some random coworker for an entire wedding reception. The audacity of this man was overwhelming. It was like he existed in a reality where logic and decency didn't apply. I needed to process everything before confronting him, so I called in sick to work. Perks of remote work. No one could tell if your puffy eyes are from a cold or a relationship apocalypse. I couldn't stop thinking about that wedding gift, sitting somewhere in Monica and Stanley's house, with them having no idea it came from me. All that sacrifice for nothing. I spent the day making a plan. But then, Raul showed up at my apartment that night, unannounced, with takeout from my favorite place like nothing had happened. When I opened the door, he had the nerve to look confused at my obviously tear-stained face. "What's wrong with you?" he asked, pushing past me into my apartment. I asked him straight up why he locked me in the car and introduced me as just a friend to everyone. You guys, his explanation. I can't even. He said his ex was at the wedding. One of the bridesmaids, the winking one. Surprise, surprise. Apparently, they dated for 2 years before breaking up about a year ago. According to him, she dumped him, and he didn't want to look like a loser who had moved on with someone less impressive. Less impressive. When I asked what that meant, he said, and I'm quoting exactly, you know what I mean? "Gina comes from money. Her dad plays golf with my dad. You're cute, but you're not exactly country club material." I am literally shaking again typing this. He then had the unbelievable audacity to say this was actually a compliment because he was dating me despite my social status. that I should be grateful he sees something in me beyond my basic job and apartment. The entire time he was saying this, he was unpacking food on my coffee table like we were about to have a normal dinner. I was so shocked I couldn't even scream at him. It was like watching a nature documentary where the narrator calmly explains how the snake unhinging its jaw to consume prey twice its size is actually quite fascinating. I asked about the wedding gift. You know what he said? Oh yeah, I told him it was for me. Monica was really impressed. Honestly, it was a bit much coming from you anyway. They might have thought you were trying too hard. That's when something in me just shifted, like everything suddenly clicked into place. I suddenly saw everything so clearly. I very calmly asked him to leave. He seemed genuinely confused. Why are you being so sensitive? I'm just being honest. Most guys wouldn't even bother with someone like you. I opened my door and just pointed out. When he realized I was serious, he packed up the food, took it with him, the actual parasite, and left, muttering about how I was being dramatic and would call him when I calmed down. The second he left, this weird calm came over me, like the stillness after a storm, and I knew exactly what I needed to do. I spent the next day researching. I found Monica on social media, discovered she and Stanley would be in town for another week before leaving for a mini honeymoon weekend. Their big trip was planned for later. I also found out where Raul's parents live. He'd mentioned the neighborhood before. More importantly, I discovered that Monica had posted about a family dinner happening tomorrow night to thank everyone for coming to the wedding. Perfect timing for my revenge plan. The next 3 days were a masterclass in restraint. Raul kept texting, gradually escalating from confused, "Are you still upset?" to annoyed, "This silent treatment is childish," to angry, "Fine, BAB asterisk 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 about it," to conciliatory, "Babe, please talk to me. I miss you." I responded just enough to keep him from showing up at my door again. "I need space. Still processing. Talk later." Meanwhile, I went to the bank and withdrew another $1,500 in cash. I could barely afford it, but this was about principle now. I converted it to yen at a specialty currency exchange place downtown. I bought another beautiful box. Not quite as nice as the original, but still pretty. I even managed to book the same tea ceremony experience again. Basically, I recreated the entire wedding gift. It cleaned out my savings, but some things are worth more than money. Yesterday was the family dinner at Raul's parents' house. I knew I wouldn't be invited, of course, but I had my own plans. I texted Raul, asking if we could meet to talk things through. He immediately agreed, relieved that I was finally being reasonable. I suggested a coffee shop about 15 minutes from his parents' house. At exactly 5 p.m., knowing the family dinner was at 7 o'clock, he showed up looking smug. I was already there, sitting at a table with 2 coffees and the recreated gift box beside me. The conversation was brief. I asked if he understood why his actions at the wedding hurt me. He gave some half-assed apology about having a lot on his mind with his ex being there, but insisted I was overreacting. Then he saw the box. "What's that?" "The wedding gift for your sister. Since you took credit for my original gift, I made another one." He actually laughed. "You're not serious. That's ridiculous. What are you going to do? Mail it to her?" I smiled and said, "No, I'm going to give it to her in person right now." His face. Oh my God. The color drained completely away. "What are you talking about? I know about the family dinner tonight. I'm going to stop by and introduce myself properly this time." He started panicking, saying I couldn't do that, his family wouldn't understand, I would embarrass him. That's when I delivered the line I'd been rehearsing in my head for days. "I'm not going to embarrass you, Raul. You've already done that to yourself. I'm just going to tell the truth." I stood up, took my gift, and walked out. He followed me, alternating between threats and pleas, but I got into my Uber before he could stop me. As the car pulled away, I could see him frantically calling someone on his phone, probably warning his family, but it was too late. My Uber dropped me at his parents' house at 5:45 p.m., early enough that not everyone would be there yet, but late enough that Monica and Stanley would definitely have arrived. I knocked on the door, gift in hand, heart pounding rapidly. A woman who could only be Raul's mother opened the door. She looked confused but polite. "Can I help you?" "I'm here to see Monica, if she's available. I have something for her." From inside, I heard Monica's voice. "Who is it?" And then she appeared in the doorway. Recognition flickered across her face. You're the friend from the wedding. I smiled. Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Mrs. Alvarez invited me, and despite her confusion, the house was lovely. Photos everywhere. Dinner preparations underway in the kitchen. Stanley was helping set the table. An older man, who must be Raul's father, was watching TV in the living room. Monica led me to a quiet corner of the living room. I handed her the gift box. This is for you and Stanley. Congratulations on your marriage. She looked surprised, but took it. Thank you. But I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again? Nadia. And I'm not actually Raul's friend from work. I took a deep breath and told her the truth, that Raul and I had been dating for 8 months, that he had locked me in the car during her wedding ceremony, taken my phone, and then introduced me as just a friend all night while flirting with his bridesmaid ex-girlfriend, Gina. Monica's face went through this fascinating journey from confusion to disbelief to dawning horror. She kept saying, "No, that can't be right," and Raul wouldn't do that, but I could tell she was starting to believe me when I mentioned the original wedding gift, the one Raul had taken credit for. Her eyes got huge. The Japan Fund gift with the tea ceremony, that was from you? I nodded and explained how I'd saved for 2 months to put together. I showed her pictures on my phone of me at the currency exchange, the original box I'd found at a little artisan shop, everything. I don't understand, she said. Raul made such a big deal about how much thought he put into it. He even told this whole story about researching traditional Japanese customs because he knew how much we love anime. That was me, I said quietly. I did the research. I found the tea ceremony. I even contacted a calligrapher to write your names in Japanese characters for the certificate. She looked down at the new gift box in her hands. And this is the same gift, recreated. I couldn't bear the thought of you not knowing it came from me. I wanted to meet you properly. At this point, Stanley had wandered over, curious about our intense conversation. Monica quickly filled him in, her voice getting more upset with each word. Stanley looked like he wanted to punch something. I knew something was off with that gift, he said. Raul has never shown any interest in our Japan plans before. He usually just makes fun of us for watching anime. That's when the front door slammed open. Raul burst in, out of breath like he'd been running. He stopped dead when he saw me sitting with Monica and Stanley, the gift box open between us. "What the hell are you doing here?" he demanded, like I was the one who'd done something wrong. Before I could answer, Monica stood up. "Is it true? Did you lock your girlfriend in the car during our wedding?" The room went silent. Mrs. Alvarez appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. Mr. Alvarez muted the TV. Raul tried to laugh it off. "She's not my girlfriend. She's just this girl I've been hanging out with. She's gotten way too attached, and now she's making up stories." That's when I pulled out my phone. See, I'd anticipated this exact response. I'd come prepared with our text history going back 8 months. Pictures of us together. The reservation for our weekend trip to the beach 3 months ago. The birthday card he gave me that said, "To my gorgeous girlfriend," with a sweet message. But the cherry on top? Remember that silver necklace he gave me for our 6-month anniversary? I was wearing it in almost every photo, including at the wedding. Monica grabbed my phone and started scrolling, her face getting darker with each swipe. She handed it to her mother, who looked increasingly distressed. "Explain this, Raul," Monica said, and then the lies began. He tried everything. Those texts could be with anyone. She changed the contact name. Those photos don't prove anything. We were just hanging out. Okay, fine. We hooked up a few times, but she's crazy and clingy. With each lie, his family's faces grew more disgusted. Mrs. Alvarez actually covered her mouth when he called me crazy. Monica cut him off mid-excuse. "What about the gift? The Japan Fund and tea ceremony?" He faltered. "What about it? Was it from you or from her?" He looked at the open gift box, then at me, then back at his sister. I could practically see the calculations happening behind his eyes. We got it together. It was my idea, but she helped. Stanley scoffed audibly. "Dude, just stop lying." That's when Mr. Alvarez finally spoke up. "Raul, did you lock this young woman in your car during your sister's wedding?" The way he asked it, so direct, so simple, seemed to pierce through all of Raul's defenses. Raul's shoulders slumped. "It wasn't like that. I just..." Gina was there, and I didn't want. He trailed off, realizing how terrible any explanation would sound. The silence in that room was absolute, complete. Mrs. Alvarez was the one who broke it. She walked over to me, took my hands in hers, and apologized. Apologized for her son's behavior. I started crying, which made her cry, which made Monica tear up too. Mr. Alvarez said something to Raul in Spanish. I couldn't understand the words, but the tone was unmistakable, deep disappointment and disgust. Raul's reaction was to get defensive, his voice rising as he pointed at me like I was somehow the villain in all this. Mr. Alvarez just stood up and told him quietly but firmly that he needed to leave. Not tonight. Not in his house. Raul looked genuinely shocked, asking if they were kicking him out because of me. Monica stepped between them and clarified it wasn't because of me, but because of what he had done. There was this intense family standoff that made me feel like I should probably leave. But when I started to gather my things, Mrs. Alvarez gently touched my arm. "Please stay for dinner," she said. "We would like to get to know the real you." I stayed for dinner with Raul's family, without Raul. It was awkward at first, but also kind of amazing. Monica and Stanley are genuinely lovely people. They were so excited about the tea ceremony experience and kept asking me questions about how I found it. Mr. and Mrs. Alvarez were warm and welcoming once the initial shock wore off. Raul texted me nonstop throughout dinner. I turned my phone off. After dinner, as I was getting ready to leave, Monica hugged me and thanked me for having the courage to come forward. She said she'd been noticing changes in Raul over the past year. More secretive, more arrogant, but hadn't wanted to believe her brother could be so cruel. I got home around 10 p.m. to find 27 missed calls and 41 text messages from Raul. The text started angry. "How dare you go to my family?" Then panicky. "What did you tell them?" Then pleading, "Please call me back. This is a misunderstanding." And finally defeated, "They won't let me come home." This morning, I woke up to a voicemail from an unknown number. It was Gina, the bridesmaid ex-girlfriend. Apparently, Raul had tried to stay at her place last night, and she turned him away. She apologized for her part in the wedding situation. She had no idea he had a girlfriend and felt horrible about the winking and flirting. According to her, Raul showed up at the train station after she refused to let him stay. He's been sending her dramatic selfies from the station bench all night. I'm not responding to anyone right now. I need to process all of this. Monica has invited me for coffee next week. She says she wants to properly thank me for the gift and to compare notes about her brother. I think I'll go. As for Raul, karma has arrived at the station. Literally. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, and the dust from the relationship explosion is finally starting to settle. So, those 41 voicemails I mentioned, I finally listened to all of them, and wow, just wow. They're like a masterclass in manipulation. Voicemails 1 to 5 were pure rage, calling me every name in the book, saying I'd ruined his life, threatening to make me pay. Voicemails 6 to 12 were the victim phase, crying, actual sobbing about how his family had turned against him, how he had to sleep at the train station, how cold and uncomfortable it was. Voicemails 13 to 20 were revisionist history. Suddenly, our relationship was the best thing that ever happened to him, and he never meant to hurt me, and the whole car incident was a misunderstanding. Voicemails 21 to 30 were bargaining, promises to make it up to me, to introduce me properly to everyone, to pay me back for the wedding gift. Voicemails 31 to 41 were pure desperation, more crying. Please just call me back. I have nowhere to go. I'll do anything. The final one, left at 4:37 a.m., was just breathing and occasional sniffling for 2 full minutes. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I met Monica for coffee as planned. She was even cooler in a casual setting. Turns out we have a ton in common beyond just her terrible brother. We talked for 3 hours. She filled me in on the family aftermath. Raul has been effectively cut off. Not just financially, though that too. Apparently, his parents were still helping with his rent despite him having a good tech job. But emotionally, his dad made it clear that until Raul shows genuine remorse and change behavior, he's not welcome at family events. Raul tried to crash Sunday dinner last week and was literally turned away at the door by his mother, who apparently quoted something about reaping what you sow. Monica said he's been desperately trying to convince everyone that I'm unstable and manipulative, but nobody's buying it. The wedding gift story especially has become family legend. Monica made sure everyone knows what he did. According to her, Raul has always been the golden child who could do no wrong. My visit was apparently the first time his parents had ever seen incontrovertible evidence of his true character. The realization has been devastating for them. Gina, the bridesmaid ex, and I have actually been texting a bit. Turns out Raul was feeding her a completely different story during the wedding. Told her I was his clingy coworker who had boundary issues and had invited myself to the wedding. She feels terrible about the whole thing. As for me, I'm doing okay, better than okay, actually. There have been moments of doubt and sadness. 8 months is still 8 months, even if it was with someone who turned out to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. But mostly, I feel free, like I narrowly escaped a relationship that would have slowly crushed me. Yesterday, I got a package in the mail. It was from Monica and Stanley. A beautiful handmade journal with a note that read, "For our new friend who helped us see things clearly. Look forward, not back." I literally cried for an hour. Raul finally stopped calling about 3 days ago. I heard through Monica that he's staying with some gaming buddy and has started telling people he broke up with me because I was too needy. Classic last-ditch effort. One final desperate attempt to save face before disappearing. Some updates on practical matters, since people have asked. The original wedding gift. Monica and Stanley insisted on paying me back for both gifts. I refused at first, but they were adamant. We compromised. They're paying for half, and I'm going with them to the tea ceremony in Kyoto as their guest. They delayed their Japan trip until next spring and invited me to join for part of it. My finances. The double gift situation did clean out my savings, but I've picked up some extra freelance work and should be back on track in a couple months. Worth every penny for the look on Raul's face when he saw me at his parents' house. My living situation. I changed my locks, even though Raul never had a key. Just being cautious and installed a small security camera by my door. No signs of him trying to come by. Thankfully. Dating? LOL no. My heart needs some serious recovery time. Last night, I sat on my balcony with my new journal and wrote about everything that happened. I thought about how sometimes we only see what we want to see in people. How the image we have of someone can linger long after the reality has changed. Relationships can be like that too. I think sometimes we're holding on to an idea of something that's already gone. We just don't know it yet. I'm not rushing toward any of them just yet. For now, I'm content to focus on myself and appreciate what I have, to feel stronger and more aware, to know that even when things feel overwhelming, there's always a way forward. So, tell me, what would you have done in my place? Have you ever had a moment where everything you thought you knew about someone just shattered? I really want to know your thoughts on this. Drop them in the comments below.